Hello and welcome to Creator Etiquette. My name is Gigi Robinson. I am here at Cannes Lions. Actually, I have reached the end of Cannes Lions, and the most exciting part about it is that I've had the privilege to record about 10 interviews here in Adobe Creator Studio at Adobe Beach at the Lions Business of Influence Beach. This was my first Cannes Lions, and if you are listening to this episode, I am getting it out super fast so that everything is top of mind, super fresh. We're actually going to go through my camera roll, and day by day, I will give you the debrief of what happened, my key takeaways, and everything that I think all of you should know if you want to be in these rooms next year. So, where do I start? I did fly in 2 days early. I do highly recommend flying in 1 or 2 days early so you can get yourself situated. I think the best thing that I did was get in, go to my Airbnb, take a beat, take a shower, get changed, go meet up with some friends to get some lunch. And what I did is I decided to walk the Croisette right from the beginning. Even though nothing was set up, really, you could see all of the logos going down the entire beach and down the entire boulevard there. You want to make sure that you know where you have to go. I am a little bit type A, and my friends know this about me, my family knows this about me, but maybe even you guys could infer this about me. I spent about 2 months preparing for Cannes, not just preparing who I was going to see and what I was going to do, but how I was going to show up there. So I actually started by, of course, RSVPing to things as early as April, because as soon as South by Southwest was over and Possible was over, it was time to go heads down and plan for Cannes. So of course, a Google Sheet was going to be my best friend. That was really, really helpful because I just put the links to all of the different events that I went to, and people on LinkedIn had given me advice. Creator friends of mine were telling me, Gigi, just RSVP to everything. And then from there, you can just go to what you can go to. And at an event like this, it's really condensed, but it's also really far apart. So the main boulevard, I think, is about a mile long, but every single step of the way, there are events. So there's like Adobe Beach back here. Next to us is the Brand Beach. The next one after that is like Omnicom Beach. The next one after that is UTA Beach, and then a bunch of smaller cabanas. And then after that, it's Meta Beach, and then so on and so forth. And it goes for literally a whole mile. And then on the other side of the boulevard, you have all of these amazing, incredible, historic, bougie, gorgeous hotels. And all of the brands that also have cabanas usually have a meeting space in there, or they rent out the penthouse, they decorate it, and they just go full out for this. And I didn't understand why they would do that, but obviously in coming here, just having people talk about the experience at the cabanas and at the beaches is a huge part of a brand's marketing. It's not necessarily even about what products they're launching or debuting. I think all of the brands here have a annual event anyway in or around a time that they want to drop a feature. Usually they're going to drop the feature there and have creators posting about it there anyway. I think some brands dropped new news, embargoed news while they were here with a press release, like LinkedIn launched collab posts. That was really exciting. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because people are going to be posting about Cannes probably for the next month. I know I will. All of these interviews that I've recorded all week will be coming out through September, you guys. So there is a lot to listen on and in, and you'll be hearing about Cannes 3 months from now. And I have already started planning for next year. I got my Airbnb's host number. We're going to rent out the whole villa for next year. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so back to day one. I decided to walk the whole thing. I previously had a Google Sheet, and I also had a Google Doc. So in that Google Doc, I went through and I itinerized each day the shots that I needed for different brand partnerships, different content I was trying to make. I also had on the fly interview time. I was like, I need a photo dump every day, so I need to get certain photos. When I tell you how much content I have, it's going to be crazy. So the way that I decided to get content to my team really, really quick here was by doing a iCloud album, and I have 1,733 items, plus I have 11 or 12 podcast episodes. So if that gives you any idea about what kind of content you can make here, hopefully it inspires you to be a little bit more specific with it. And of course, I was present every moment of the way, but the other thing that's really important to know is, as a creator, it's my job to make this experience look as grand as possible so that other people are inspired to come here next year. If people are not inspired to come back here, well, I'm doing something wrong, but creators are doing something wrong. The programming team's doing something wrong in the first place. And it has just been such a world of possibility amongst every single person I met. And from creating my prep docs, I also made an Adobe Acrobat PDF space. So I added my itinerary, I added my flight info, I added all the meeting infos, I added all of the interview infos, I added my spreadsheet in. I added literally as much as possible. I had the briefs for my brand deals, the contracts for my brand deals while I'm here into there. And then if I had a question, I just asked my little PDF space about my itinerary. And it was honestly a really, really great way to have everything in one place because, as I mentioned, I had docs, I had Excel sheets, I had PDF saved, I had so many different things. I had screenshots of where I was going to meet people. That's not really a way to be organized when you're showing up and you're talking to executives and you're in an executive world here, which is what Cannes Lions really is. I'm going to take you back. We're going to start at the beginning. So I get off the airplane, you guys, my phone immediately green text. Nothing is working. I have an iPhone. So immediately I knew something was wrong with my phone. And I connect to the Wi-Fi. It's great. I'm messaging the Uber guy through the Wi-Fi. Everything's totally fine. Whatever. I finally get in my car. We drive past the airport and green text immediately. And I'm like, wait, what happened? I should have iMessage here. I have my travel pass on. Like, I've never had a problem when I'm traveling internationally. And I proceeded to obviously go the entire drive without using my phone because I had no service. And then when I got to my Airbnb, I also had no service. So I had to wait for an hour and figure this out. I was crashing out. I texted my friend Jasmine and my friend Chris. I'm like, guys, I really, really need help. Finally get Wi-Fi. I get on the phone with my mom. I spend 2 hours talking to Verizon, trying to figure it out. Well, it turns out I was the only member on our family plan whose international plan was turned off. Why, might you ask? We will never know. But after that, I had a really amazing week thanks to cellular. So that was really, really great. So once I checked into Airbnb, I immediately, again, showered, decided to get situated, walked to the closet. Then I met my friends. So we decided to walk around. And obviously, when you are here, you should just go and walk. I think they call it the banana, which is everywhere from like where the train runs through to the beach. Everywhere else is not the banana. So like it starts at the yacht area and then it goes all the way to the end of the closet with the other yacht area, but not the yacht area in the main banana. So that's what I know about the banana. You guys, you gotta check out everything. The cars here are unbelievable. The architecture is unbelievable. And of course, the croissants are unbelievable. I definitely enjoyed myself there. Looking at like the pastries was so much fun. I mean, every single thing here is so beautiful. Like, look at that coffee shop, guys. It was a stunning little coffee shop. I thought, wow, we really need to bring more French architecture and whimsy into our little coffee shop life in New York and in the States. Another really fun thing to do is to walk through all of the little back roads and the market. So honestly, if you can and you have like 3 or 4 hours and you're feeling up for it, I would go early in the morning or like, you know, happy hour time and just walk through the streets as much as you can. Or another really fun thing to do is walk through the back streets. We went through this little street on the way up to see the castle and the Cannes sign. I think it's a really beautiful view. It's a really iconic view to go up there just for fun. So definitely check that out. This was our completely like, you know, we're just having fun and we are on an adventure here experience. So I highly, highly recommend doing that with some friends. And of course, going and trying some food wherever you can get a table, because I think about 15,000 people come here. I think the Cannes Lions team brought or accepted a couple hundred or maybe even 1,000 creators into the creator pass while you're here. So another thing I would recommend doing on Saturday or Sunday is going and picking up your pass, because otherwise there's just going to be so many lines. There's lines in general, but go pick up your pass. So this pass is the thing that holds the key to Creator Beach and to a lot of the events. And you may see here, what is this, you might ask? Well, this is the pass of somebody who has been to all of the beaches on the closettes. It's really important that you keep your wristbands because if you want to go back in, don't want to go back in certain days, you have to have the wristband. And some places even change their wristbands throughout the week. Some people have different wristbands based on if you're having a meeting or if you're an executive or whatever. I didn't want them on my wrist because obviously I'm taking a lot of photos and I think they look really ugly. So this is my souvenir for Cannes this year. And I can give you a quick high level debrief on each of these as I go through the photos. So stay tuned. But you need this pass to get to the Lions Creators Beach. And you need this pass also to get into the Palais, to go to any of the award shows, to go to any of the panels in there. I myself was so busy that I did not even get to go to the award shows or any of the panels in there. And I'm actually pretty bummed about that. But I did hear Mel Robbins and I did hear Stephen Bartlett speak right here at Adobe Creator Beach. So that was definitely a highlight for me. And I got to watch a bunch of my friends up on stage too. Now that we're through Saturday, I have my lay of the land. My friends and I went on a side quest to Monaco. We don't really have to talk much about that. I'll just show you some photos. The photos will be posted. You guys can go check it out. If you're here, it's an hour train ride away and the train was so easy. Highly recommend. It hugs the coast. It's such a beautiful view. It just was like a fun experience to be there and to just hang out with my friends and explore a new place and even treat ourselves to some shopping if we wanted with a really gorgeous view. So that was that day. We got back pretty early. And then the first event I actually went to was a dinner party called Night Zero, hosted by my friend Shira and a bunch of other collaborators. There were so many incredible people there, you guys. And I love the concept of what they're doing. Night Zero, right before the conference starts, they want to get people together. They want to talk about what people are looking forward to and catching up and meeting people and just like get the spirits and the energy high. It was such a fun event. And we were sitting right across from Paris Hilton and a bunch of the creators are like, we've got to go over there and say hi to her. I honestly it doesn't do anything for me to like go say hi to a celebrity when they're like clearly undercover and they don't want to like talk to people, but she was literally probably the nicest person ever. I didn't get a photo with her, but she did say bye guys. So maybe that's my close and personal friend, Paris Hilton. Next up, the first thing that was on my docket for the week was a 9 a.m. recording with Kyle from G&B Creative, and they manage different content creators. It was an incredible podcast interview. That one's going to come out really soon. And it was really cool because I realized I'm friendly with his publicist, Emily, who has actually been on the show. And she set up this interview. And when I got in person with him, I was like, wait a second, I think I actually know you. And we realized we knew each other and it actually completely changed the vibe. Like at first it was kind of like, oh, hi, how are you? And then it was like, wait a second. And then once we actually realized we knew each other ahead of time, just like the switch happened and we were able to like have a deeper, more human conversation. So it was just a really great podcast experience. And then I ran into my friend Yumi here at Creator Beach. I spent so much time here at Creator Beach. And honestly, I'm glad I did because I'm here with Adobe and I wanted to spend as much time with the people that are investing in my creative career and that believe in my mission and helping people and breaking down what's going on at Cannes. So it was really, really incredible to be here. The Adobe team's amazing. Production team, everyone that they bring in is amazing. They really care about their creators. I think that they're best in class. I've worked with so many different brands. And I mean, as you guys know, Adobe is like my sugar daddy. I love Adobe so much. And I'm not just saying that, like I genuinely, every single person I meet is somebody that is willing to go above and beyond to help my creative career succeed. And I believe they do that for every single creator partner at every single level. So definitely, if you're a creator interested, make sure you drop it in the comments. You never know who's going to be watching and seeing who to work with next. Right after my recording, I wanted to explore a little. So I headed over to the Meta Beach. For the Meta Beach, they actually did this really cute thing. They had these little vinyl cards. It's like going to be really great for a little scrapbook at some point. And it has my company name on it. I just got it. And they didn't really have a big creator activation, which I was actually really surprised about. They mostly were focusing on their wearables this year. They also had an art installation with 4 creators, which was really, really beautiful, but it was not a creator heavy activation. It wasn't really something that they said, okay, we really want creators to show up here at Meta Beach, with like cute photo moments or content ready ideas or a production studio or this or that. They had some panels going on with some creators, and then they had a handful of creators that they worked with to build out this experiential conceptual art exhibit, which was cool, but again, not creator heavy. So I was a little bit confused about that when I went into Meta Beach. I also got to hang out with one of the partner manager directors over there at Meta. I work with a partner manager, and this lady is on that woman's team. And we just kind of talked about what they could do next year, how to improve. So maybe more to come. I then popped over to another beach to see a cabana, and I'm not going to say the beach because I can't because of exclusivity, but I'm sure you guys can infer. But I did check out this specific cabana at that specific beach, and y'all will know. And I got to see ChatGPT give a really cute little speech about integrating Claude products into a visual app, creative app. And it was really cool. Next up, something that was super underrated, I think, is the swag bag. So yes, there are a million brands giving out a tote bag. How can you be unique here? Well, #paid had this really cute little cart they were giving out. If you signed up, you could get this little like toolkit to help you. I really loved it. There was some cute stuff in there. I believe there was like sunscreen, there was like breath mints, there was like focus strips, there were sleepy strips, electrolytes. It was just a really nice little pick me up, and they didn't just give you your average tote bag. They gave you this like really cute little bag. So I personally enjoyed that. And honestly, brands, you got to do better. You got to think outside of the box. Everybody gets a goddamn tote bag at these things. By the end of this trip, my count was up to 7 tote bags. I obviously leave tote bags behind for the people that are at the Airbnb, because sometimes I'm just like, I can't fit all of these tote bags at home. And when I go home, I usually recycle them or get rid of them because there's just too many. So that was a unique experience. I also popped into the Female Quotient Lounge. So the Female Quotient also is a really awesome company. They always have activations and panels at almost every single big event, whether it's in New York or LA or around the world. They pop up at different places like Davos, CES, Possible, here at Cannes, Advertising Week, Art Basel. They have them all over. You should just check their event schedule and definitely try to go to their events. They're all focused on female empowerment, helping women achieve whatever it is they want to achieve. And they also partner with amazing brands. So Snapchat had a charm bracelet activation. #paid had a creator activation where you could pick up a portable charger, you could pick up a grippy phone case, you could pick up a tripod, a phone water bottle. So it was honestly a really cute little activation that I really enjoyed while there. Then I headed over to the Martinez Hotel. You guys, this is literally still Monday at 12:30. Like, I'm sorry, how are we going to get through this episode before 11? I don't know. I ran into my friend at the Martinez Hotel, and then I just popped into the restroom before heading over to the Ad Age Creator Roundtable. And this one was really unique, you guys. It was a completely off-record conversation happening with Jillian from the Ad Age team. Shout out Jillian. She reports amazing creator economy news, so much about how the future of the creator economy is going, how creators can best work with brands, how brands can best support creators. And for this specific roundtable, they brought in CMOs and senior marketers working with creators, heads of influencer and social. And then they also brought in top creators. And some of the people I was there with, I was just like, holy crap. Like, I can't believe I'm sitting next to like Josh Richards. I can't believe I'm sitting next to Girl Boss Town. Like, I can't believe Brand Flakes is like right over there, and so on and so forth. There were so many incredible creators there. And I was like, you want my voice? You want my opinion? This is crazy. And the biggest takeaway is brands are still having a hard time justifying, especially from a marketing standpoint, to a CFO and to a COO, how much money they actually need to and want to spend on creators to have a successful campaign. And at the end of the day, I think that's something that we're just going to continue to see over time. But the fact that there was a room where 30 people could get together and speak freely. It was off the record. So I'm not going to, repeat anything anyone specific said, but it was probably the most inspiring discussion I had and the most thought-provoking discussion I had the entire week of anything that I did here, and it happened on Monday. So I'm really grateful I was in the room, and it inspired a lot of ideas and hopefully more cool collaborations to come. So stay tuned for that. Next up on my list, I popped over to the LinkedIn activation. Another thing I did at the LinkedIn activation was the Adobe Acrobat Worksinality quiz. So basically you could go to their little activation, which was so cute, and you basically had to do a little quiz on the iPad, took like 10 seconds, and put your email. They send it to you, and it opens a PDF space with the way that your personality is at work. And it was in the LinkedIn place, and it was just really, really awesome. And the LinkedIn activation itself was really great. I ran into one of the product marketing managers, Nina from Acrobat, and I absolutely loved doing that. Then we popped over to a panel at the Later House with David Dobrik, and I actually ended up interviewing him for a Creator Etiquette Street interview, which was really cool. And the biggest takeaway from that was that he told me that the biggest thing that inspired him and that helped him in his creator journey was actually the people he surrounded himself with. And after being here for a whole week and being around marketers, I totally agree. Some people are not your people, and that's totally fine. But being around people that are like super happy for you no matter what, and they're like willing to take the BTS, they're willing to take the photos, they're willing to go out of their way to like come to your panel to help you take photos and content, it makes all the difference. And it's one of those things where it's like, if I do it for you, I hope you do it back for me. Treat others as you would want to be treated, you know, get the content for that creator that you potentially hope one day they could create for you on the ground, and befriending them and being happy and enjoying each other's presence is like definitely top of mind. I also interviewed a couple other people before heading over to see Stephen Bartlett speak over here at Adobe Creator Beach. That one was also really, really awesome. Highly recommend listening to his stuff. And I don't know if they're going to have a recording of this panel, but from creator to CEO and building scalable brands with AI and just really figuring out the discernment of when to use AI in your content was a big discussion. But more than anything, I don't think I heard AI as much this year as I heard it at like Possible or South by Southwest, right? I felt like I was really hearing conversations actually about humans and actually relating to somebody and meeting somebody where they're at and having a conversation with them. And one of the best pieces of advice I got on the Sunday night dinner from somebody who's been in marketing for so long and had been here many, many times before was specifically like, you can do the business deal later, get to know the person, see if you like working with the person. And there actually was an experience at some point during the week where I introduced myself to somebody and they were just stone cold. And I was like, okay, either they're having a bad day or they don't want to talk and they're not interested. And if they're not interested, that's totally fine. That's not on me. That's on them. And I just don't take it personally. So highly recommend setting an intention and having some fun questions like, oh, like, do you like pets? Oh, like, what's your favorite restaurant here? Oh, what's your favorite cuisine? How's your journey been? Have you shopped anywhere great? Really like that little small talk before you ask them, oh, what do you do? Where do you work? Like, that's so boring. Don't be boring. After I went to Adobe Creator Beach to see Stephen Bartlett, ran into some friends, did some mini street interviews, I went back to LinkedIn to hear my friends speak, get some photos, and then I actually went to a Lions Creators dinner with Linktree, and I met some incredible creators. Girl Boss Town, Robin Del Monte was the one hosting it, and it was really, really incredible. So I went to that dinner. It was really, really awesome and really, really very cute. Highly, highly, highly recommend that brands invest way more money into hosting weekly dinners. Have a brand and creator dinner every single night of the week. This is my prediction for 2027. And brands, if you want to credit me or work with me on this, let's talk. I think you should have a creator dinner or a brand dinner or a focus dinner every single night, and you should announce the schedule ahead of time rather than investing in stupid merch or what I like to call glorified junk for creators to take with them, or just like get them a gift they actually will love. If a brand gave me AirPods, if a brand gave me an iPhone charger, not just a portable, but like an iPhone charger while I'm here, or a converter for the outlet here, or a camera, or whatever it is, that's much more impactful alongside a dinner with a room full of people that could change that person's life than any little activation where we could learn about a product feature later. Like, I don't need to learn about a product feature here in the south of France. We could do a demo on that. You could send me a virtual recording of that and I can do that later on. So I highly recommend that brands have a creator focused dinner every single night and that they invite different creators. And maybe there's like a matchmaking process that the Lions creator team can work on. But ultimately, the dinner thing has got to be sorted, because also the dinners start at 7, but people don't get there till 8. So honestly, that has been the biggest shift. And when you're in a room with whatever, 10, 12, 30 people at a dinner, just the conversation you're going to have is so much more impactful than if you're passing by somebody just in a creator booth or in a booth for a brand. There were so many I didn't get to go to, but I really, really felt very fondly about the creator dinners that I went to this week, along with, might I add, a really cool activation that Yahoo did. Yahoo had a mindfulness morning, a sunrise meditation and yoga class, a really gentle yoga class. It was so amazing. That is totally my vibe. I don't really stay out late. I don't need to stay out late, but they had it on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I was like to my friend that I was working with here, do you guys want to go? Like, do you want to go at 7 a.m.? And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's going to be fine. We're going to feel so restored after. And honestly, it was the best way to start the day. I mean, how often do you guys do yoga beachside in the south of France? Not very often. So I was like, we're going. And regardless if she was going to go, I was going to go. And I'm so glad that I did. Another hot tip, actually, if you are here, bring a tote bag or bring a big ass bag to carry your stuff in, because you're going to be getting stuff all day. I think that's why brands give out tote bags. They know people collect things all throughout the day. But I did end up purchasing 2 new bags here because I was like getting sick of carrying my bag as it was. And I'm really, really glad that I did buy myself a little big girl present. Also, not to mention the fact that this was the view from the yoga. Literally crazy view. So it was totally worth it. Then the other thing I think every brand should invest in, which Adobe did here at Creator Beach and later did it, and a couple other brands did it, have a glam studio. There are certain creators and certain people that, you know, executives, maybe they want their hair done a certain way, maybe they need their makeup done a certain way. Have a touch-up station, have a full glam station for them to book, and make it easy and accessible ahead of time, especially if you guys are working together. So I know the Later team really well, and I saw on their schedule that they were offering glam, and I messaged them, oh my God, I'm going to be on this podcast. I absolutely would love to have some glam. Is there any way that I can get in for an appointment? And they did my hair and makeup. Honestly, it ended up looking so beautiful and glowy and stunning, you guys. Oh my God, I was so thrilled with it. And also their activation was so cute. I really, really enjoyed it. I ran into my friends Jasmine and Jess there. I ran into my friend Kayla there. I ran into Katie, who does creator partnerships, and Alan. So it was just really, really amazing. Highly, highly, highly recommend that for next year. Adobe had the makeup artist here, I believe 9 to 5. Every single day this week. So anytime I needed a touch up, I needed more blush, I needed setting spray, I needed my eyebrows fluffed, I needed lip gloss, I could just go to her and she would do it. That made all the difference for me, so that I didn't have to carry it with me, so that I didn't have the mental load of like, oh my God, there's so much to do. So on Tuesday, I interviewed both Jacqueline and Marina from Create and Cultivate. That was really, really awesome to be able to interview them in a mini mic interview. So long form creator etiquette, manifesting for the future. I had 3 creator etiquette podcast interviews on Tuesday. And then I also was a part of an Adobe production. So you may see me in an Adobe commercial sometime soon. I don't know. You tell me. It's possible. It's also not possible. They may cut it. You never know. And then on Tuesday, I also went to an Adobe community dinner. That was obviously great. And then another thing that people say here is leave room for spontaneity. But what does that actually mean in action? That means, sure, not necessarily having everything locked. I was like, you know what? Tuesday is just my day. I'm staying at the Adobe Beach all day. And if people come up to me, if people talk to me, if people want to film content with me, great. That's the spontaneity of the day. And just having that clear intention and knowing that you'll have FOMO wherever you go. I also had dinner plans on Tuesday and I got a text like, oh, Gigi, we would love to invite you to this dinner with time. We would love to invite you to this dinner with later. I was like, guys, I've been locked in for this Adobe dinner for a couple of weeks now. So honestly, frustrating, but because it would be nice to have some variety with the brands, but also just having a really clear agenda and being okay that like, oh, if you can't make it to one, it's totally fine. I think the dinners and staying through the whole dinner and not just like showing up, showing face and then leaving is really, really important. So with spontaneity, another fun thing to do is you meet your friends late at night. On Tuesday night, I believe I ended up leaving and going to dinner with my friend Lizette, who is also an Adobe ambassador. And we were at this Adobe dinner together. I'm like, do you want gelato? Should we go get gelato? So we just went and got gelato, got to hang out. We've been IG besties for so long. Like now we can like know each other deeply and personally. And I thought that that was just really sweet. The night before, I got to go out with Jillian from Ad Age and just like hang out, grab a pizza, super casually at like 11 o'clock at night. But that's just kind of what people mean when they say spontaneity. And that's where it's really human. It's not about, oh, how can I get this journalist to write a story about me? It's like, hey, like, how are you? What's your experience here? What are you noticing? Or like, what are you looking forward to the rest of the summer? It doesn't have to be about work. And just taking the pressure to talk about work off work because we're all here for work is, I think, really, really, really awesome. So for Wednesday, woke up, went to the yoga again, did my hair and makeup. I interviewed my friend Camille Morris. So the crazy thing here is I was going to be interviewing my friend Natalie Barbu, who's incredible, and I will interview her one day. But she texted me, she was like, OMG, Gigi, I literally got food poisoning. Like, it is going to be impossible for me to do this interview. And I was like, damn, that really sucks, but it's okay. I also actually went to the Stan Villa and I did a interview with Maggie Sellers and with John Hugh from Stan. It was incredible to be there in such a casual fashion, to have access to such an incredible person. Both of them are incredible. And the Stan team really, really pulled it off by renting a villa and having their house party there with JT, who's also amazing and a known creator. And they really care about their creators. And I did not get to go to the party, but I did hear that on the wall when you were there, it had all of the faces of the big creators that were going to be at Cannes. And I actually hadn't seen a big activation like that. So Stan team, if you see this, I would love to see the photo that you put up of me on that wall. I'm sure there's a photo out there. It's just like incredibly humbling. And it's a real honor to be on the list of creators that are here at Cannes with some really, really big and incredible creators, and also some really small ones that I don't know yet. I got to interview my friend Camille Moore. She was so incredible. We talked all about personal branding, building a brand, and mindset. And she has a new book coming out. So you guys will hear more about that in the podcast. And then another impromptu interview that I did was actually with Ed Davidson. He works on the Cannes Lions team. So a couple of years back, I decided to connect with Ed through a mutual friend who worked in the creator economy. She's like, Gigi, they're putting on a Cannes creators thing. I think you guys got to talk. So I talked with him and it just didn't work out with timing that year. I was already going to VidCon with Meta that year and speaking there. And it didn't work for me to come to Cannes because Cannes and VidCon happen usually at the same time. So a lot of the creator economy people actually start flying back Wednesday night or Thursday morning because VidCon starts on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and basically Sunday it's done in Anaheim, California. So everybody's going back and forth like crazy. So I decided to interview Ed about the future of creators being here at Lions, the philosophy about it, why it's so important, what creators can do to prepare themselves, because it is about a $5,000 to $10,000 investment to get yourself here to Cannes. What I mean by that is you have to spend your money on your flights. So whatever way you get here, you could book points, you could pay for it. The round trip flights in economy are usually going to run you between $2,500 and $5,000, depending on when you book the flight. I booked my flights back in, I booked my flight coming here. Well, I did book my flight coming here a while ago, like in December or January. And then after that, I decided to actually make my trip longer and come 2 days earlier. And thank God I did, because originally my flight was set to get in on Monday morning. That would have been absolutely horrible. I would have been so behind. There's no way I could have done as much as I wanted to do. So what ended up happening is I extended and the flight was about $1,700 of $1,700 for a one-way flight here in economy. Then the way back, I decided to also book a one-way direct flight back. I did not want to deal with traveling to transfer connecting flight, just not my vibe. So I didn't do it. Let's say you're going to be about $3,000 to $3,500 just for the flights. And then your Airbnb will be anywhere from $150 to $800 and $900 a night. So it really depends on the range of what you want and where you want it. I do not recommend staying in a villa far, far away, because what ends up happening is it becomes rush hour. There's not enough cars to get people. And if you're up in the villa, you're so far away, versus if you stay relatively close, you can just get yourself down here by walking. It was about a 15-minute walk, and I'm a New Yorker, so it was beautiful to walk through the back streets of this area down here, and that is what I would recommend. Get an Airbnb 100% of the time, and if you can, split it with a friend, have a travel buddy with you if you don't want to do it alone. I found this place back in January, and I booked it in January, and that was the reason why I was able to get my stuff squared away so easily and at budget. I spent about $5,000 total on my flight and hotel. So just know, if you're coming here, you have to do that. And the Creator Pass is about $1,500 as well. So in the bag, you're probably going to spend around $7,000 even, with food, with drinks, with everything on this trip. So if you want to get here next year, start saving. I talked with Ed about it. You guys will have to watch the whole episode about that. It was crazy and so amazing. And then obviously another thing that happens, which we're not going to talk about on this episode, but maybe I'll do a future one on it, is the art of a brand deal. And ultimately, I just put it out into the universe, put it out into LinkedIn, put it out everywhere. I'm going to Cannes Lions this year. I put it out early. I told all my agency contacts, I told all the teams that I work with at different companies, this is where I'm going to be if anything's a fit. And luckily it was. And so Adobe ended up sponsoring me in the end. But again, I had to bring myself here. They didn't comp my flights. I don't know what they do for other creators, or if they do that for other creators. I can't speak to that. But for my specific instance, I can be transparent. They did not comp my flight and my hotel, but I did get a brand deal while I'm here. So you never know. Sometimes just getting yourself there and literally traveling to the destination, whether it's South by Southwest, whether it's VidCon, whether it's Advertising Week, whether it's Art Basel, wherever your opportunity is, New York Fashion Week, get yourself there, figure the rest out later. And I think it took about 2 to 3 months of persistent outreach before actually landing that brand deal to do it. I also ran into my friend Jenny, ran to Leah, checked out the Adobe Express activations, also took some photos and videos on the Palais steps. Oh my God, you guys, this was so iconic. Thank God I did that then, because this morning I was like, oh, I'll go and I'll just take some content to wrap it up. They got rid of the red stairs and it looks boring and ugly now. So I felt like a little princess. You guys will see this video later. Also, back to the stand thing, they literally rented a villa. This was like castle maxing 100%. It was crazy. Another really fun, exciting thing that I did next, I was interviewed by my friend Kilia for #paid, all about the journey of being a creator. I think it was about 5-10 minute interviews. So you guys will see a lot of that soon. I had some hot takes. I had some really great tips, and it was just really awesome because we've been connected online for so long. And that is the same for basically so many of my creator friends online. I've been supporting all these creators for so long on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, and it's just really cool to see them in person. And what's even cooler is that the B2B space and the creator economy space and the creator economy educators, thought leaders, experts are just such great people. And it's just really fun that we get to hang out and create content and help each other create content in these incredible places around the world, and, you know, do speaking engagements together. I mean, we are the people that are going to be the CMOs potentially in 10, 20, 30 years. So it's just really cool to be here on the ground in Cannes with them at this moment in time, and to just call all of my creator friends my work colleagues. It's like a total dream come true. Then I popped over to a creator happy hour where I got to meet more of the Adobe team and a bunch of the creators that Adobe brought here. It was really, really awesome. Followed by UTA Beach, where I ran into my friend and publicist, Emily Blair, who you guys have met before. I also met Madeline from TikTok and Gracie again. So it was really great. And then I went to a private Adobe Express dinner. You guys, again, this is one of those things. I'm not going to beat the dead horse here, but the dinners were incredible. Having a full sit-down dinner and a meal after a crazy day is so important. And something I did not talk about, but I did make a video about, is what I packed in my bag for Cannes in terms of snacks. I packed jerky, I packed the meat sticks, I packed peanut butter, I packed electrolytes, I packed also some dates and some peanut butter. And I highly, highly, highly recommend doing that, because if you don't do that, you're going to be hangry, you're going to be hungry, and you're going to be hot and sweaty. And nobody likes to be around a hot, hangry, sweaty person. So definitely plan ahead for that. After that, I went out with my friend to get gelato, you guys. This was so much fun. Again, another fellow Adobe ambassador. The dinner was full of people that have worked with Adobe and people that are really multi-hyphenate creators that are building things outside of just social media. So for me, the Adobe team invited me, one, because I'm a partner, but two, because of my community and hosting in-person events and different things like that. So it was just really, really awesome to be in that room. And then I met up with my friend. We got some gelato. And then, you guys, we're getting to Thursday. On Thursday, I woke up bright and early. I got ready, and the studio I was filming in at the Adobe studio is in the room next door. So you will see a little bit of variety here. This is the podcast studio, but there's also a content studio, which the producers have been incredible in helping me set up with a different style of interview. So just really, really awesome to have that kind of opportunity. I got to have a brief chat with Darman. That was incredible. He was like the nicest person ever, and what he's built is so inspiring. So it was really cool. And then I actually was like, wait a second, I see myself up on the stage on the screen at Cannes Lions. I'm like, oh my God, this is from the Lions Creators #paid dinner party in New York. And I was like, wait, is this a sign that I'll be speaking up there next year? Probably. So you guys stay tuned for that. Another one of my guests ended up not being able to be in an interview. And I think this is another thing about where, luck happens when preparation meets opportunity, and or like, you just have to ask for something, and you also sometimes just have to be a yes man. So I actually had two guests, Camille and Charmaine, that filled in for two guests that were unable to do that. So I think having a list of people on standby and also building your network to a place where it's like, if it's ever a fit, if I can ever interview you, I would absolutely love to. So for example, I had run into Charmaine the day before. She is an amazing creator economy attorney. She also has community events. She's just a really, really great person to know and follow. So you got to make sure to follow her. My guest had to pull out the day before. And at the end of the day, I was like, hey, is it possible that, or like, would you be interested in being a guest on my show? Immediately, she's like, yes, of course, I'll be there. When? And it's like, you just have to be a yes man sometimes, because when else will her and I be in the same place? I don't know. Could we find time in New York? Absolutely. But it might take planning. There's so many hurdles. You sometimes just have to say yes and get yourself there in that moment. And that applies to brand deals. That applies to getting yourself Getty Images even. This is a whole topic. We don't have to go super in depth. I could do a whole other thing about publicity and getting yourself on a red carpet. All you have to do at an event, it's a little bit humbling. Sometimes the photographers are stressed and busy, but you just got to go up to them when a moment is dull, insert yourself, say, hey, I'm a creator here. I'm curious. Would you be able to get a couple shots of me? Usually they say yes. And if it's Getty, they'll ask for your name. If it's BFA, they'll ask for your name. If it's Shutterstock, they'll ask for your name, and or facial recognition is so good these days, you don't even have to say your name. But at this point, I just go up to the photographers and I'm like, hey, can you grab a quick photo of me? And I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but I did. And I did that all throughout the week, whether I was at Adobe Beach, whether I was at the photographer that did the Dove activation here at Adobe Beach, the LinkedIn events, etc., just so that I have some nice professional photos, So I interviewed Charmaine all about law and the creator economy and protecting creator IP. So you just got to go. Oh, I mentioned it because showing at the right time, right place, and then making the ask. Making the ask is the littlest thing that you can do in order to actively change your life and get what you want. If you don't ask, closed mouths don't get fed. So the whole reason I am here in Adobe Podcast Studio is because when I was looking at events for what they're doing, Adobe didn't really publicize it. They just said like Adobe at Cannes, and then all the way at the bottom of the page, it didn't even say contact. It said like, for more information, email. So I emailed them. And I was like, I have an idea. Can I record one podcast episode at Cannes Lions? And that was my goal. One episode. You guys, I did 10 here in this studio and I did 2 elsewhere. I did one at the Edelman house and then one at the YouTube Creators Studio. Honestly, had I not sent that email, I don't know what would have happened. And at first they were like, oh, you could do 2. And then they were like, oh, there's actually more space. And I was like, okay, great. Can I add more? And then timing just worked out. I was able to use the other studio when this studio wasn't available. So you just never know if you don't ask. And then also if you show them back, if you show them gratitude, if you show them brand love, that is your way in every single time. I don't think there's any other way about it. Next, I interviewed my friend Gracie Schram. We talked all about creator IP also and licensing music and the role music has in a creator's workflow. So that was a really awesome interview to have. And you guys, we did have a medieval flying cockroach fly into our podcast studio. You will see the bloopers. You will be seeing the bloopers. But if I hope you guys aren't squirmish here. You guys, that's the bug. No, like seriously, guys, that's the bug. It was like this big. I'm not even kidding. It felt as big as my phone. Its whole abdomen, it got cut off in the door. The bug was still alive. I don't know what kind of prehistoric juju that bug has, but yeah, you got to be ready for the bugs. You got to be ready for the bug bites. Bring your Benadryl, your hydrocortisone, whatever it is to help you with bugs and bug bite stuff while you're here. You got to do it. Got to bring your sunscreen. Got to bring your anti-chafing stuff. Wear shorts under your dresses. Wear cotton, wear linen, wear breathable stuff, all the basics. Just do that. Also, rookie mistake. I packed an outfit for the day and then I also packed an outfit for the night. Sometimes at other conferences, I will do 1 to 3 outfit changes in a day, which yes, I know is diabolical, but I love doing a little outfit change for the content. That's not possible here at Cannes. I mean, if it is possible if you choose to make it possible. I personally was not going back to my villa or my hotel before the end of the night. I literally was going out at 6:45 in the morning for my day to start. And then I was coming back usually around 11 to 1 a.m. So that was just what I was up to. I interviewed Kenny at the Edelman House, and I did do this one on my DJI. So the production will look a little different. The audio might sound a little different, but the interview is top notch. It was a quick 35-minute power hour with a chief creator officer. I've only met one, and it is Kenny at Edelman. And I think that we are going to see this kind of role pop up more in addition to creator in residence. And I think that brands should definitely have a creator in residence thing that they're doing more and more. So hopefully we will see that in the future. Then I popped by the Adobe Express activation at the Pinterest booth. That one was really, really cute. You could custom design a notebook using Express. They would print it and then you could add little charms to it. Honestly, it was glorious. Next up, headed to YouTube Beach, you guys. This one was beautiful. I mean, look, sparkly little umbrellas. It was really great. And the YouTube play sign, of course. But furthermore, I popped over to the Adobe Creator Studio and I was there with my friend Summer, who you guys know has been helping me with behind the scenes all week. She is an amazing creative and social director. So we went to the YouTube Creator Club and we decided to film a little sit down about how creators can really think about their careers as a social media director, as a creative, instead of just somebody posting content. And honestly, the gifting at the YouTube space was amazing. They were literally giving out Fitbits, you guys. That was amazing. I got one. It was so fun. And then we stayed there for like 2 hours because we just need to cool off. There was AC there. There were lounge chairs there. It was just like nice to take a beat and like be away from somewhere that was like relatively quiet. So we absolutely loved doing that. And honestly, it was a dream to be able to record there and take content there. Next up, I popped into the Carlton again. I went to the TikTok garden. It was great. And the funniest thing about that was I walked in and literally every time I did like a step and pivot, I would run into someone. I was like, oh my God, this is literally crazy. So that was great. Did that. That was at the Carlton. It was all right. And then I popped up to the FQ Lounge for their Adobe Creator Happy Hour. And it was really great. Honestly, super decompressed there. Like the view was unbelievable, like totally up of the entire bay. This was definitely a highlight view. And after that, I popped over to the Il Grande Palm Beach Club over about 20 minutes from here. It was so incredible. The Caliber team put it on. It was an intimate dinner. Ran into my friends Brandon and Jack there, met some new friends there from the Beehive team and beyond. It was just incredible. And then Summer and I spent the whole entire evening. I did a whole time lapse, which is really hilarious. You guys can go see on my channel, packing up everything, doing a what I got this week haul. It was great. And then today, here I am. I Ended up bringing all of my luggage, checking out of the hotel villa that we were staying in, and then coming here to Adobe Beach to record one last guest interview and, of course, this interview. This was honestly a week I will remember forever. I will always remember my first Cannes, hopefully to many, many more in the future. To anybody listening, it is totally possible for you to get here if you plan. I told you the cost to get in. If you budget, let's say $10,000 to come here, you can get yourself here. And if it takes you 2 to 3 years, it took me 2 to 3 years to get to a place where I felt comfortable coming here and showing up. And sometimes you just need that 2 to 3 years to really work and get yourself to a space where you actively feel like you're showing up the way that you want to, where every 100 feet you step, somebody recognizes you or somebody says, oh my God, it's so great to see you. So I had the best time. To every single person listening, to every single person I met, thank you so much for watching the content. Thank you for asking the questions. I can't wait for you to hear all of these interviews. We had such an incredible rock star lineup. I'm so honored that these incredible founders, CEOs, CMOs sat down with me, and I can't wait for what's next. Now, before I go, I do want to leave you all with a prediction for next year, which is that I really do think we are going to be seeing, again, chief creator officers pop up. We're going to be seeing creator in residences pop up, but like at contract, maybe like 5 hours a week. Like it would be great if a creator could do 2 hours a week, right? 10 hours a month. Okay. Let's call it 10 hours a month, maybe, or maybe if it could be less. I don't know. Maybe it's more equity was a conversation I was hearing about, not a brand that's like a huge corporation, but getting in on startup partnerships would be really, really great. And I also think that for next year, we're going to be seeing way more creators. We're already seeing this. Cannes Lions is flooding the feed right now. I think other conferences are going to try to take this approach. I think other conferences are going to do more dinners. I think they're going to have these in-person events like never before. And I don't only think they're going to invite creators. I think they're actually going to start asking them their feedback about how to plan and do it better for next year. And I think that that is just going to be something that will officially change the game. I also think hopefully that there will be progress in brands and creators using AI together and making real creative workflows so that brands and creators can get the best output possible and really, really enjoy themselves when creating work. My intention for Cannes this year was to do good work with great people and have fun doing it. And that was my mantra the entire week from the start. And had I not done that for myself, who knows what my mindset and state would have been in, but that was what I chose. I highly recommend choosing a mantra and an intention for the week. I just made a LinkedIn post about this and sticking to it. No matter where you're going, people are complaining that it's 100 degrees. They're complaining that it's hungry. Guess what? I would rather be here doing this for work. And if this is my hard, then so be it. I loved being here. I loved being at Cannes. Thank you to the Lions creators team. Thank you to the Adobe team. Thank you to the production team. Thank you to my team. Thank you to the listeners. This has been a week to remember. I know you guys are going to love this episode. We are going to get this one up really, really fast. And I've got a flight to catch. So I will see you all very soon. That was my week at Cannes from a creator first perspective. There was so many more nuggets of wisdom and amazing conversations that happened, but you'll have to watch the podcast. You'll have to stay tuned for all the content because I will be posting Cannes content probably for the next month. All right. Bye. And I'll see you on all the next guest episodes.